Hello student, I am Anusmita Bora from Anu's classes. This is my second video on photosynthesis in higher plant. In my previous video, I have explained what is photosynthesis, type of nutrition, what is pigment, location of photosynthesis, and structure of chloroplast. Today I am going to discuss one of the important topic of the chapter, that is light reaction. So before starting light reaction, just I want to tell you that photosynthesis is a two-step process. It means, what is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis means the process where inorganic carbon dioxide is converted to organic food. And in this process of photosynthesis, it is a two-step process. One is called light reaction, another is called dark reaction. The light reaction takes place in the grana and stroma lamellae position of chloroplast, whereas the dark reaction takes place in the stroma of the chloroplast. Already I have explained in my previous video. So in the grana and stroma lamellae, as their pigments are present, so they trap the light energy, and as a result, they produce ATP and NADPH, which are used in the stroma for dark reaction. And in the dark reaction, carbon dioxide and water, by using the ATP and NADPH produced in the light reaction, they produce glucose, means C6H12O6. So these are the two steps of photosynthesis. So we can say that dark reaction is completely dependent on light reaction, because for dark reaction, it needs some energy, and that energy is produced only in light reaction. Now come for the light reaction. Next topic, light reaction. In your NCERT book, in your NCERT book, this is the page of your NCERT book. In 13.5 para, that there is what is light reaction. So let me explain it in a very simple way, so that after my explanation, when you go through this line, you can easily, you can easily understand the meaning of each line. So now go for the explanation. So light reaction is a first point. You have to remember, light reaction is a photochemical reaction. So photo means light. So in this type of reaction, chemical reaction takes place with the help of light. That's why it is known as photochemical reaction. First point. Second point, you have to remember what takes place in light reaction. First point, light reaction. So absorption of light takes place. Second point, splitting of water takes place. Splitting means breakdown. So breakdown of water takes place, and this process is known as photolysis. So what is photolysis? Just you write, the process of splitting or breakdown of water is called photolysis. Third point you have to remember, as a result of splitting of water, oxygen is released. And fourth point or last point you have to remember for light reaction, formation of ATP and NADPH takes place. So just these 4 points you have to remember: absorption of light, splitting of water, the oxygen is released, and fourth point, formation of ATP and NADPH. Next, go for the next point. Next point, what is the main compound for light reaction? We know that is pigment. And how many pigments are used? We know that there are 4 pigments are used. What are the pigments? Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, carotene, and xanthophyll. Means these are the main 4 pigments. And beside these 4 pigments, some other accessory pigments plus some proteins also required for the photosynthesis process. And and these pigments are arranged in a particular arrangement into distinct light harvesting complexes, and they are named as into 2 names. One is photosystem 1 and another is photosystem 2. So what is light harvesting complexes? First come to know that. So light harvesting complexes, to understand the light harvesting complexes, go through this diagram. Suppose in this diagram, what is look, another diagram is also given that look. This is photosystem 1 or light harvesting complex. So light harvesting complex means here are, just a minute. Yeah. So in the light harvesting, here there are some green circle, oval structure. These are the pigments, means accessory pigments or antenna pigments. And the pigment which is present in the center, this is known as reaction center. When a light harvesting complex is formed, always remember that reaction center is always made by chlorophyll A. Always reaction center is made by chlorophyll A, and other pigment means chlorophyll B, carotene, xanthophyll, and other some pigments from the antenna pigments or accessory pigments. And plus they are attached to one another with the help of some accessory protein. And this whole organization or this whole arrangement is known as photosystem or light harvesting complex. And from this arrangement, if you minus this primary electron acceptor and this reaction center, if we minus these two portions, then other portions are named as light harvesting system. It means, now come for the summary notes so that you can easily understand. So light harvesting complex means what? Light harvesting complex means reaction center, means chlorophyll A, plus antenna pigment. Antenna pigment means chlorophyll B, carotene, and xanthophyll, plus other pigment. It means beside these four pigments, some other pigments are also need for photosynthesis process, that are called other pigments, and some accessory proteins are also required. So when these four type, reaction center, antenna pigment, other pigment, and accessory protein combine, they form light harvesting complex. And when the light harvesting system means what? When from light harvesting complex, reaction center means this one, chlorophyll A plus primary electron acceptor, these two are minus, then the other portion is known as light harvesting system. So never confuse what is between light harvesting complex and light harvesting system. And then come to the name photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. So when this chlorophyll A, which is the reaction center, when the light absorption is maximum at the wavelength of 680 nanometer, then that light harvesting complex is named as photosystem 2. And when the electron absorption is maximum at 700 nanometer, then that light harvesting complex is known as photosystem 1. And you can simply remember that 680 means here two different numericals are present, 6 and 8. That's why it is named as photosystem 2. And here only 7 is present, single is present. That's why it is named as photosystem 1. These are just key points to remember. So don't confuse which one is photosystem 1 and which one is photosystem 2. So this is the structure of light harvesting complex or photosystem. And here I am showing you two diagrams. This is also one diagram, same thing. And the photons means light energy from the sunlight are absorbed by the accessory pigments. These are called accessory pigments. So at first absorbed by accessory pigment, then they become excited and they pass their energy from one to another. Suppose first absorb this pigment, then it pass to this pigment, then it go to this pigment, and finally all the pigment release the energy to the reaction center, means chlorophyll A. And so primary electron acceptor plus reaction center are known as, means reaction center, and these both work as reaction center. And this is, and when means chlorophyll A or reaction center get the energy from the other pigment, it become excited and it release electron which is accepted by a acceptor, which is known as primary electron acceptor. So this is also a structure of photosystem or light harvesting complex. So if question come, you can draw this diagram or this diagram, or this diagram is given your NCERT book. So any one diagram you can draw. Now if you go through this line, then you can know the means understand the meaning of this line. So this is what the means now. So till now we have discussed about what photosystem, what is photosystem, or what is light harvesting complexes. Student, now go for the next topic, that is the electron transport. The electron transport. So in electron transport, look just a minute. This is the para for electron transport. In this electron transport para, in your NCERT book, Z scheme is given. Z scheme on or non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So let me explain now. So this is the non-cyclic photophosphorylation or Z scheme, in the same thing. So it occurs in thylakoid membrane as both photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 are involved here. It means what? For non-cyclic photophosphorylation, both photosystem 1 and 2 are involved. That's why this takes place in thylakoid membrane, because in thylakoid both photosystem 1 and 2 is present. So this is the structure of the non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So first what happened? First photons are come from sunlight and they are absorbed by, look, this antenna pigment. Then the energy is transferred to chlorophyll A, means to reaction center, and here the reaction center is P680. That's why this is known as photosystem 2, since here the chlorophyll A means light absorption is maximum at this wavelength, 680 wavelength. That's why this is known as photosystem 2. Then the chlorophyll A become excited to a pair of electron and it is accepted by a primary electron acceptor. So when the reaction center, means chlorophyll A, gets the energy from the accessory and means antenna pigment, it excites a pair of electrons which are captured by a primary electron acceptor. Then electrons start move in a downhill direction, means from primary electron acceptor, electron is accepted by another electron carrier which is plastoquinone. Then it is go for another carrier which is cytokinin. Next is plastocyanin, and last from this electron carrier to again electron is absorbed or enter into another photosystem, that is known as photosystem 1. Since here the reaction center, the light absorption is maximum is P700 wavelength. That's why it is known as photosystem 1. So from photosystem 1, again electron is excited and accepted by another primary electron acceptor, and from there it is go to another electron carrier, that is ferredoxin. After electrons are accepted by ferredoxin, their reduction reactions takes place, and as a result NADP is converted to NADPH. So as the electron excited from this photosystem 2 never come back, so there are always in photosystem, just a minute, in photosystem 2 there will always be a deficit of electron, because from here 2 electron is excited, and but these 2 electron go like this one and never come back. That's why there in photosystem 2 always there will be a deficit of electron. So to fill up this deficiency in photosystem 2, all continuously photolysis or splitting of water takes place, and by the splitting of water means by the breakdown of water molecule, hydrogen ion means photon, oxygen and electrons are released, and these hydrogen ions are always used in the ATP synthesis, and then oxygen will go to air, whereas the electron will be used in the photosystem 2 to means fill up the deficiency. And again NADP is by reduction reaction it is converted into NADPH. And this and this process of ATP synthesis, look, this is by using the hydrogen ion which is from the photolysis of water, means for splitting of water the hydrogen ion also produced, and this is used in ATP synthesis, and this process is called phosphorylation, and this phosphorylation process takes place in mitochondria. This phosphorylation reactions always takes place in mitochondria. And this photolysis of water, this takes place in the inner membrane of thylakoid, where the if question come in non-cyclic photophosphorylation, where photolysis of water takes place, you have to write photolysis of water takes place in the inner membrane of the thylakoid, where NADP or NADP is by reduction reaction converted to NADPH. This reduction reaction takes place in the outer membrane. Photolysis of water in inner membrane, whereas reduction reaction in outer membrane. So this is the simple explanation of non-cyclic photophosphorylation. And this structure is as a Z-like structure. That's why also it is known as Z-scheme structure. And these are given in this part. Look, wait just a minute, and these are given in this para. In this para, these are given. Now, if you go through this line, you can understand each line easily. Now go for the next topic, that is splitting of water. So what is splitting of water? Just tell me. Splitting of water means the process of split. Split means breakdown. So the process of splitting of water is known as photolysis of water. Already I have told you. And this is the reactions for photolysis of water. Twice H2O is, and it, water molecule breakdown, and finally H positive plus O2 plus electron is released. And this H is used for ATP synthesis, which takes place in the mitochondria. This oxygen is going to the air, and this electron is reused in the photosystem too. And here in this para, and these things is only written in this para, but one important point is that look where the photons and oxygen form likely to be released in the lumen. And where is the lumen? This lumen is in the thylakoid, lumen of thylakoid, and or the outer side of the membrane. What takes place here in the outer side of the membrane? There the reduction reactions takes place. Now, if you go through this para, you can easily understand what is the splitting of water is given there. And I am showing you just note as summary note, so that before the day of exam, you will not get sufficient time to read line by line of the NCERT book. Then with this summary note, you can just easily revise the chapters. So if you think that this note is useful for you, you just pause the video and then write the note. Now, student, go for the last topic of today's video. That is, it is in your NCERT book. It is in 13.6.2. That is cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So, phosphorylation means what? Phosphorylation means the process of formation of ATP is called phosphorylation, and it takes place in mitochondria and chloroplast. And photophosphorylation means what? Photophosphorylation, formation of ATP in presence of light. Formation of ATP is phosphorylation. But when it takes place in presence of light, then it is called photophosphorylation. Just simply, photo means light. So phosphorylation, when it takes place in presence of light, it is called photophosphorylation. Then photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 work in a series is equal to non-cyclic photophosphorylation. It means in non-cyclic photophosphorylation, look in this non-cyclic photophosphorylation, both photosystem 2 and photosystem 1 is involved in a series. That's why it is non-cyclic photophosphorylation. But when only photosystem 1 is functional, then cyclic phosphorylation takes place. Means when two photosystem is involved, it is non-cyclic, mean oxygen never come back. But when only photosystem 1 is functional, then cyclic phosphorylation takes place. And non-cyclic photophosphorylation takes place in grana and thylakoid, whereas cyclic photophosphorylation takes place only in stroma lamella. These 2 points is very, very important, student. When you write the notes, you just highlight this line. Means non-cyclic photophosphorylation means grana and thylakoid, whereas cyclic photophosphorylation takes place only in stroma lamella. So this is the structure of cyclic photophosphorylation. Means here only one photosystem is involved, that is P700. So from the sunlight, when sunlight come, means photon come, it will absorb by P700. First it is absorbed by antenna pigment, then it is released to the chlorophyll A, which is P700. Then in excite a pair of electron accepted by primary electron acceptor. Then like non-cyclic photophosphorylation, primary electron acceptor transfer the electron to, first it transfer to pyridoxine, then it transfer to plastocyanin, then it transfer to cytochrome, then last to plastocyanin. And from last plastocyanin, the electron is entered into the again to the photosystem 1. So in this type of photophosphorylation, the electron first excited from the photosystem 1, means reaction center, and at the end again enter into the photosystem, means reaction center again. That's why this type of photophosphorylation is called cyclic photophosphorylation. So student, if you think that this video is helpful for you, so please share the video, like the video, and subscribe the video. In our next video, I am going to explain another topic, important topic of this chapter, that is dark reaction. Thank you.